Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Figure Friday today, so here we are. We have Falcon and Quarrel. So we've gotten Falcon before. I believe this is the first time we've ever had Quarrel, at least in my collection. And this is out of the Night Force. So we've gotten Falcon. I believe they had a Tiger Force version of them, as well as a regular Joe Force Falcon. Quarrel, I believe this is a first time that they've done Quarrel. So we're just kind of getting into this. And looking at the package, it is kind of nice that we do have the helmeted versions of the heads. So that way, if you just want them to be somewhat as a generic character, you can kind of do it that way. And it looks like some other helmet here or whatever as well. And we have some nice artwork on the back, having them all nicely posed up in front of whatever kind of painted scene or whatever they have back there. Looks like they're going down some sort of tunnel with some wonderful crystal. All right, so let's get this opened and see what we have inside. Now, looking at what we have, it looks like Falcon has got his shotgun like what we've seen before. As I get everything kind of sliced open here. And Quarrel looks like she's got an M16. Keep this so everyone can see what we have. Alright. So, we do have our helmets. It's not a second mask, but we have night optics. And we also have a grenade launcher. Quarrel seems like she's got a crossbow here with a couple bolts, as well as some sort of light machine gun. And out of this with a nice drop-down magazine. I don't know what machine gun that would actually be offhand. I'm just going to be honest here. At first I was kind of thinking maybe it would be M249 without the buttstock on it, but it looks like it's a little different from that, so honestly I do not know. But we have our grenade launcher here. I don't know the actual designation for the grenade launcher, but this is the style that was really made popular by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the second Terminator movie when he was sitting there with one of these and just kind of lobbing off rounds. But we do have a night scope on there. We do have Falcon's backpack, and it's got something on the side here. So I don't know exactly what we all have here. I'm going to guess it's going to sit this way. Actually, looking at this, this is a radio antenna. So we have Falcon really as a radio man. Now, I don't know how many different iterations of Falcon that we've had for different story arcs. The one that I'm most familiar with is from G.I. Joe the movie, where he is actually General Hawk's nephew. And we get Indy. Oh. So she does not like being left out. There we go. We got a helmet here, and then she's wagging her tail over everything. Got Falcon. I think one of the things I was fighting with is some tape here, as we have our two flashlights, standard military style flashlights here, another pistol, and then we have Quarrel. Indy, you're trying to knock her over, you silly. Quarrel's helmet. We do have some different fists for Quarrel, so as I get these all out, trying to fight with this. Then there's our M16 with a small scope on there or a laser on there. I'm going to say it's a small night scope. As well as another pistol. And then I break the crossbow. Okay, well that's never good. Alright, well the crossbow can be taken down if you want to. Here's a little learning thought by accidentally breaking it. It's not actually broken, but it is just one of those things of it can be broke down. And we have a couple daggers here, or knives, and I'm just having a dickens of a time trying to get them out. We got tape all over them, and I'm just unable to get them out of here. So the good news is they keep it in here good, but the bad news is trying to get it all out. Alright, so we do have 1, 2, there we are, 3 and 4 arrows, or quarrels for the bolts, quarrels, however you want to term it, for our crossbow. We get a dagger, or bayonet, possibly. More of a machete. And a curved blade knife. And then that's everything out of the container here. So, let's see if we can do this with Indy in our way here. So, looking at Quarrel, seeing that she's already right here. Looking at the ankles, as we kind of start off with the feet, we have our normal ankle setup where we can twist the feet back and forth. So if she's sitting at a wider stance or a narrower stance, the feet will sit nice and straight. She's got the boots, and we do have a slight twist just below just above the boot, and she's got the double knee, so she can stretch her leg out if she's got to, and that works out pretty good. And then waist wise, she does have a torso twist just above the belt, and it looks like just below the top armor here. And looking at the shoulders here, it looks like she might have a double shoulder, but she's got all the different armor on. So even if she does have that second shoulder movement, it's not really going to do any good with all this armor on here. And she has a double elbow here, so she can kind of grab something up towards her face if she needs to, which is kind of nice. All right, and as we get her fully outfitted, so for her namesake, here's her crossbow bolts. Get her fully outfitted here. And they gave her different bolts for different things, much like we've seen with like Lady J and some of the others, where they have a wide variety for different tasks. As I'm putting this in backwards. Trying to get this in here. So it looks like we have three bolts here with one feather style and one with a different one. Probably seeing that one might be more of a high explosive or something like that, where the other ones are not. And she has 2 scabbards. So I'm going to say she's probably got the standard. Thank you there, Indy. I appreciate that. Oh, silly kitten. I don't know what she's playing with. Oh, she's playing with one of the heads. Falcon's head, I believe. And underneath here, if we take the heads off, we can replace it with that. It's not a helmet that's going to sit on top, so we really are replacing the heads themselves. as we get into all this. So we got the bolts here. We have the two knives. I don't know if this is meant for one or the other or both. It looks like we could do this with both if we want. All right. Now we only have one backpack, so however you want to work that out. See, we have a flashlight. I'm just trying to figure out if I have a spot for a flashlight here. I don't see one though. There's nothing up on the arms here. So I don't know where we're putting the flashlight, but we do have the flashlight here. So for nothing else, I can at least put it in her hand so she can hopefully see where she's going. And they have the red lens on there. Now, I remember when I was in basic training, and this goes back many, many years ago, some of the things that they had shown us was, they literally had a white light, the blue light, and the red light, and they're just kind of showing it doesn't matter which lens you have on there. You can see those lights at a very far distance. And think of it in this way, when we put up Christmas lights, I mean, you can still see Christmas lights at a far distance. The advantage of having the red and the blue is really more so you can try and keep that night vision of your own. So when you turn the light off, it's not so bright that your eyes are trying to readjust to not having that light there. So just kind of going from that train of thought. Now, there may be other benefits to having a red or a blue for tracking things, but that's none of the things that I was ever told. Those that may know better than I do, they could probably explain that better than I ever will. But one of the things that I do miss is when they give us the nice stands. Now, unfortunately, I'm upstairs because we just got done having a party, and I have a pool table full of stuff, so I can't really do stuff downstairs. But having a nice stand is always great. Now, we do have two different pistols, so I don't know who's supposed to get which pistol. We have one with a longer magazine and a smaller style, more of a compact pistol. We do have the extra fists here for Quarrel. Suppose I should probably angle this down a little bit more so you can see this a little bit better than what we've been. All right, but all in all, not a bad figure. It works out pretty good. We have some pockets here on top of the body armor, the plate armor, some extra magazines. Nicely done. Some extra bullets here for whatever you're doing. And then we get to Falcon. Now, he's done up a little differently than what we had seen here the last time. Actually, it looks like he might be doing a little bit more of the... Okay, it looks like... Well, let's get through what we got here. And actually, the boot is kind of coming off here a little bit, so I don't know how well you can see that. Pushing that in. So obviously, we have a joint there. We have our standard ankle. Back and forth. And he does have that double knee. He is a bigger frame character, so sometimes when we get those bigger frame characters, they don't move as good, and I just knocked something off the table. He's got some mag pouches here. He's got his shotgun shells because he typically carries a shotgun. Oh, his hat. I knocked his hat off. Getting into his shoulders and that, obviously we do have the nice double shoulder, and that is very well pronounced as I try and get his shoulder pauldrons up. And he's got the double elbow here, but with his armor, I don't think he's going to be able to move up as much as we've seen before. And we also have a free-floating handkerchief here. And it's loose on the back, so you can take it off if you want to take it off. If you want to customize them or not. Having all the different armor the ammo sitting here. So when we're working on everything, getting them outfitted. Now I don't know which pistol's going to fit better in here. Trying to get this one in here. That one sits all right. Take that out. That one sits down there a little bit more. It is a shorter, smaller pistol. A couple more rounds and then I drop the gun. So I'm dropping everything here apparently. On his ammo belt, we do have a spot for holding a flashlight. So if I can get the flashlight in here. Come on. There it is. Started. Or it felt like it started. I'm just not able to get it in here. Of course, it doesn't help. I'm trying to do this with a camera right in front of me. Well, it should be able to go in there. It's just that I'm just not able to do it at the moment. I'll get it in there later, but at the moment I'm just not able to do it. And then these want to keep falling down on me. These are nice in a lot of regards, but as you can see, they're falling a little bit here and there. So trying to keep them up there on the shoulder is a little bit of a challenge. And we'll throw this pistol in there, seeing that that's the one I got. We do have some ammo pouches on the back, probably for the pistol. A little pouch on the side, a couple shotgun shells for his shotgun. And then we have his radio backpack, which has got a scabbard for his knife there. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else to hold anything else on here. And this is where I do have a little bit of a complaint. I kind of wish that we would have an ability to throw some extra gear inside our backpacks. It's just not something that's been done. I don't know if it's mainly because it gets hard to put on their backs, keeping everything all nice and firm, so that way you can kind of push in on that to be able to do that or not. And that's, you know, something I'll acknowledge could be an issue, but it would be kind of nice if we could actually put some gear in their backpacks. Alright, so looking at the guns themselves, starting off with our grenade launcher. The drum does rotate in here, but that's about all we have. It is notched out here. There's nothing to go on there, but we do have the hole on here, so if you have any of the other like flash equipment or whatever, you could easily put that on there so it looks like it's firing and you have that flash from the gunpowder. Although on a grenade launcher, I don't think you really get that all that much. Never really shot one at night, so I really can't say. But there is that. Our shotgun. Now this is the collapsible stock. Kind of folds up here. We have 3 extra rounds, so you can store that. And then, as always, I always knock something off. And then here it is, all unfolded. A nice pump action shotgun. From the looks of it, unless it is a semi-auto. Nope, it's got a bolt here. So we have a piece here for the bolt. So this would be a semi-auto. So you could just feed that in there and just go to town. Again, it'd be kind of nice if this could attach to the backpack or something like that. We've already looked at the M16. One thing I didn't think of is, yes, it does. The magazine comes out, which is kind of nice. And then last but not least, when we look at our squad assault weapon here, our saw or whatever we want to, you know, our fully automatic light automatic assault rifle. I know assault rifle has been thrown around for different things or whatever. I mean, we can see the ammo here. This does not come off, so that's not a bad thing. We do have a foregrip and a back grip. Seeing that we don't have the buttstock, I think you're going to want to hang on to it with both hands here. Although I'm not used to having all those because that was well before my time, or after my time, I should say. And we always just held on to the base of the rifle there, and we would make do that way. But it's not bad. It's very nicely done. I do enjoy them. They're great collection or additions to the collection. Looking at it in that regard, I don't think I did his torso twist. He can twist here at the waist as I bump the camera. But with the armor and everything else, if there is something else there, obviously I don't think we're going to be able to do that. As far as doing crunches, he can do some crunches, so there is extra movement here. Like pulling this up, there is that joint there, so we can kind of move that a little bit. But he is a bigger figure, and he's going to have a little bit harder time. So height-wise, seeing that we have a male and female character, there's a little bit of a height difference. So again, when you have some of the vehicles that have a harder time with the full 6-inch figure, sometimes it's nice to have a female figure or someone that's a little bit shorter that you can put into a driver's seat, and then some of the bigger Joe characters sitting in the back where it's more of like an open top or whatever. So that stuff does kind of work out. So with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. Hope you're having a good day, and I will see you in the next video.